my conference starts at 8 and I need to be there for the credits. How about 7? And she goes, oh, I'm so sorry, my daughter will be sleeping. Maybe we'll leave it for next time. And I was like, next time? I was like, what kind of brush off is that? Next time, you know, it was one of those little slide brush off. I go, no way.
Victoria would be sleeping.
Funny thing is, now I've raised her for 10 years. She's a morning person, and somebody is not necessarily the 6 a.m. riser, of course, unless she has to. But I mean, 7, right?
Yeah.
7 a.m., right? So Victoria is a very early riser. So, haha, the joke is like basically using my daughter as a, you know, Victoria will be sleeping. No, I'll be sleeping is what she meant to say. But that's okay. And so then I said, well, I got to do something. So I said, you know what? She holds her daughter in very high regards. I could tell she's very well dressed, very well manicured. You know, clearly a mother who cares. And you could tell their connection was like this. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go get a gift for her because I want to show her that I just really appreciate this whole meeting. It was really truly divine, and I think we both felt there was just an energy there. But we didn't know we were gonna be married. We had no idea.
No.
So I walk into a store. Now, kind of side story there, and I'll make a very long story short, but I was having a lot of financial struggle. And, you know, it's okay to be broke. It's not okay to stay that way. Things happen. People go through ups and downs financially. If you're broke, I've been there before, you got to work your way out of it, right? It's you know, it's one thing if you were born broke, born poor, but you can't stay that way. That's our duty. It's, you know, we're born as producers to do something with our life. So so I was having some serious financial struggles at the time. Fact is, I shouldn't have actually been in Vegas. It was a very irresponsible financial decision. However, so I was having some serious financial struggle at this time.
And about the coffee in the morning also, I was a little bit worried. It was not just a sleep situation, because I was like, I had to think a little bit, think it through, like, I just met this guy, I have Victoria.
The push off.
No.
Give me the push off. That's all right. So I'm a master of persistence. I do what it takes. And so I was not discouraged. I had to simply find another way. So again, backstory, extremely financially stressed, had $600 for, I think it was like 3 nights, 4 days in Vegas between me and my friend. And I even had 4 girls, friends, but one of them was supposed to be a date, coming to meet us in Vegas.
You didn't tell me that.
Of course I didn't tell her that, because we just met, but $600 is not a lot in Vegas, even for like a day. I mean, 1 or 2 days. Vegas is a very expensive place. People go there and just spend. And even, you know, that's just not a lot of money for 2 guys and 4 girls for 4 nights. It's terrible. So, yeah.
Too many girls in the story.
Totally. And that's why I'm so happily married. That was a different time. And so I walk into the first store I saw, which was Yves Saint Laurent. Nice brand. Walk in. I said, it's funny. I go, excuse me, what's the cheapest thing you have here? And the lady looked at me like, you know, and there's a couple next to me who were probably spending a lot. And they kind of looked at me like, who's this guy you guys let in the store? And no shame. Like I said, I'm not ashamed to be broke. I was on a mission. Mission driven. And I was like, what's the cheapest thing you got here? And she goes, like when she realized I was serious, we have a keychain. I'm like, perfect, I'll take it. She walks over, I go, well, how much is that? $69. I'm like, $69 for a keychain? Little small packages, expensive. And he looks at me, what'd you do? I go, don't worry, man. I text her and I go, hey, you can't leave. I have a gift for your daughter. She goes, oh my God, okay. And she goes,
no. Then I was having a dinner with my daughter at the Venetian, and there were a lot of people in the restaurant, our daughter. And I was like, wow, okay, at least if I'm gonna meet him here, it's a safer place because it's full of people. I don't think there's a problem. So I told him, well, we're having a dinner. If you would like to come and meet us, we're at the Venetian.
So I jumped on the opportunity. But again, the funny thing was, extremely financially stressed, I brought 2 boxes of Costco protein bars with me because I didn't have a lot of money to buy food, and I have quite a large appetite, and big man, large appetite, right? So when I get to the restaurant, sure enough, I see Victoria, my daughter, and our daughter, and they have a pizza there, and they'd eaten like a couple of slices. I was starving hour-and-a-half workout earlier, and no money to spend. And they were like, "Do you want anything?" And I was like, "No, I'm good." Because I knew if I literally would have been out of control. I would have scarfed the whole thing. The waiter comes up, "Would you guys like a box for that?" They're like, "Nah, it's okay." And I'm like, there's like starving people in the world. Anyways, besides the point, we ended up leaving the restaurant. We ended up talking on a bench, right? We sat on a little bench.
4 hours.
Like 3.5, 4 hours. All three of us, Victoria as well, 8 years old.
Yeah.
8 years old, intelligent, right, articulate. We had a conversation. And, she ended up saying, "Hey, if you want, I'll give you a ride back to your hotel." And I remember just the cutest thing ever when I was saying goodbye. I was sitting there, and Victoria, of course, 8 years old, was in the back seat. She pops her head up through the seat. She's like, "See you later," and it was the cutest thing ever, just this little Victoria.
She's like, "Okay, you guys can talk, but
That's it, right?" And
I'm
so
right here.
we said our goodbyes. I think we might have given just a kind of a gentle hug, tap on the shoulder type of thing. It was, we just met, and the daughter was there, and
then I left next morning.
she left the next morning, and then I stayed and went to the conference.
And the dates came.
Yes,
All the
yes,
girls
yes.
came
But
for
again,
the-
I'm not embarrassed or ashamed because we weren't married and we had just met.
No.
And it's like that's just what it was at the time. I was out partying and having fun. But the cool thing is, and just bringing it back to the core, is that we were nonstop attached, texting each other for the rest of the weekend and for the rest of the next few weeks, actually. And I even got yelled at. Why are you at the club? Why are you at it's 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning. We're texting each other. I literally was just glued to the phone, couldn't stop.
But up to that point,
Yeah.
and maybe even further down, none of us had any intention to get married.
Not at all.
I had just got out of a relationship. I was very happy, single with my daughter at the time, now our daughter. We were just happy. I was not looking for a husband. I had no intention to get married. I didn't want another man in her life. And
I had just
think
gotten out of a
the same, you
relationship as
had
well. I
gotten
was not.
divorced.
I was in a little short marriage there, less than a year. So neither of us were really looking for a relationship. And I think that that's the energy that draws everything you want towards you when you acknowledge that truly nothing is missing. You don't need anybody. You want them. And so.
And I had no intention to move here at the time.
Yeah.
I loved the U.S., but all my family's in Brazil, and I didn't want to live away from them.
Yeah,
again.
you were set up.
I had my house, my
Yeah.
business, so it wasn't even a thought.
Yeah, absolutely. So a few weeks passed, and we're texting each other nonstop. I mean, every day, day in, day out. And I
All
had
day.
scheduled a trip prior to having massive financial problems to Austria.
He's always traveling during the financial problems.
Hey,
Okay.
you
I'm
gotta,
joking.
yeah, that's right. Gotta keep the mindset where it needs to be. It was to snowboard in the Austrian Alps for 2 weeks. It was an epic trip. But I was like, this was prior. I mean, I think Facebook was around, but
And
it was.
I was supposed to go to Brazil March 3rd.
Yeah, she's
Then
supposed to go to Brazil.
Maybe we'll go April.
She
The
pushed back her
Copacabana,
trip,
yes,
and
yeah.
this I think this was definitely before Instagram and Facebook was a thing, but not like it is today. So finding pictures of people online was not like it is today. Today you Google somebody, you find all these pictures, but it wasn't like that. So I was, I think we'd exchanged a few pictures, but you want to see that person in real life. Like, who's this person? Like, okay, she was beautiful as I remember. And so I said to her, I said, hey, I'm going to be leaving the country tomorrow, and she knew because we were talking. I'd love to just stop in LA and just take you out for lunch. So we went ahead. I flew down to LA for literally a day. I stayed there, not even a day. I got in the morning and left in the afternoon. We went to our first date at the Cheesecake Factory at the Grove, which is
With
one of the reasons
Victoria.
with Victoria why the Grove is such a special place for us. We talked nonstop. She was talking my ear off.
Right? You
Right.
can tell.
We had an amazing time.
We did.
And
then you traveled.
And then I left for 2 weeks.
We were talking the
Yeah,
whole time. Again,
and
texting.
it was wild, right? And so we were talking the whole time, texting, emailing, pictures, this and that, and
then you came back.
so I changed my flight. I actually changed my flight to come back through LAX instead of SFO because I was living in the Bay Area at the time. And funny thing was, too, just like side note, my whole trip through Germany was $487 round trip, SFO to Germany, Germany to SFO, and I actually had paid I think it was about 600 to change it back into LAX. But I had to see her. I'm a master of persistence. I do what it takes. And came into LAX. Again, spent just a few hours there, afternoon. And it was like, it just sealed the deal energetically.
Yes.
It was like, oh my God, I'm actually falling in love with this woman.
We were both falling in love.
We were
with
both
each
falling
other.
in love, right?
So
and,
we couldn't stop texting each other, and we started flying back and forth.
and forth,
every
yeah.
weekend. Yes.
So mainly me, sometimes her, but I was mainly going back and forth every weekend. And after about 4 or 5 months or so of constantly flying back and forth, it becomes expensive when you're going every weekend, and we're going out to dinners all the time and doing things. And remember, there was really no presupposition about, none of us wanted something out of it, no ulterior motives. We want a relationship. We were just living. And I remember her lease was expiring, and she had to make a decision of, do I go back to Brazil? So we were just talking about it like adults, my lease is expiring. And I said, hey, I don't want to sound tacky or anything, but I'm just curious how much you pay here, because you're just dating somebody. There's a lot of uncrossed boundaries, and you don't necessarily want to talk about this or that or the other. But she goes, oh, I pay about this much. I go, well, I pay about this much, and we're spending about this much traveling every day. I said, it'd be great if we just maybe live together a little bit, because we literally spend every waking moment together.
And the girls loved each other. The
girls loved each other.
Sisters.
Yeah, they were pushing, when are you guys gonna get married? We're like, okay, stop. Right?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, that's great. Why don't you move down to LA? And at the time I had a very, very long, tumultuous custody battle. It was a battle. I had 50% shared custody. And I said, you know what? I would love to, but I just can't. I've been in this, years-long custody battle, and it's rough. And if I left, it just, I couldn't. It wouldn't be the right thing. And I need to be there. And so I said, well, why don't you come? And she said, well, maybe I will. So we looked into it. She ended up moving and came up north, and was just the absolute catalyst and for me really regrouping, reorganizing, and figuring out my business. And literally ever since we've been together, I've done nothing but to grow as a person, as a human being, in business as well.
And me too. You transformed my life.
Thank you.
And we forgot the hitting.
The what?
The end of the story.
The end of the story. Okay.
We ended up getting married.
Oh, right. So
6 months.
So she moves up, and then I realized we got a place together. We're living in a nice home together, and I realized, I go, wait a minute. She's got to go back to Brazil to tend to her business, because she'd put it off month. She was like 4 or 5 months past due of when she really needed to go back. And I realized this woman has a home, a business, a car, everything in Brazil. The only thing, quote unquote, tying her here is me. I was like, ooh. I believe in myself, but I was like, okay, a man's got to do what a man's got to do. I took every penny I had out of the bank account. And when you know. I literally went to the jeweler, and I was like, what's the cheapest thing you got? I'm joking. I didn't say that. That was the other store. But I didn't have very much money. I had just a couple $1,000s, and I bought an engagement ring. I knew I didn't need to ask anybody. When you know. And I took her out to a nice dinner, wrote her a nice note, set up a nice, surprise for her. And I asked her to marry me, and she said
of course
yes.
I said yes. How could I not?
Come on, it's amazing. So she said yes. She calls her sister in Brazil.
So I called my sister and I told her I was getting married. She was like, what? I said, yeah, I'm getting married. She's like, yeah, right. And I told her, no, I'm not kidding. It's true. And I told my cousin too, and my friends, and I told my sister, and I need you to set up the wedding for me, because we're getting married in Brazil. She's like, okay, and when is that? Like next year? I'm like, next month. She told me, are you crazy? How can I arrange a wedding in a month? I said, you can. She said, but what about the decoration and all the details? How you choose everything? She's like, no, it's a big responsibility. What if you don't like? I'm like, I like everything. It doesn't really matter. I love the groom, so I don't care about the decorations. You choose everything you like. I'll choose the flavors of the cakes. And I did.
The cake was, oh my God, it was delicious.
Right? We chose chocolate.
So good. We almost didn't have anything because we were so busy with the wedding. So we ended up going to Brazil.
But everything, in the wedding, everything.
The wedding was amazing.
Perfect.
Everything was perfect.
We had so much fun. Yes.
It was amazing. My first time in
time.
Brazil. It was my first time meeting, 100 plus family members. I didn't speak a lick of Portuguese. It was very awkward to say the least, but just in that sense of foreign country, first time, not speaking the language, but it was amazing and it was perfect at the same time. It really was. It really was magical. And the girls were there, the daughters were there. My daughter, her daughter, our daughters. Jack, our son, wasn't born yet.
Special.
And I even got 2 little engagement rings for our daughters and gave them to them. And it was a beautiful thing. It really was. So the moral of the story is that true love exists.
Yes, it does.
And that
And it finds you when
it finds you when you least expect it. It finds you when you're ready,
Yes.
being the right person, right?
Yes. First, you gotta love yourself.
Absolutely.
And be who you are.
Yeah.
And that person has to love you for who you are. If you shouldn't be somebody else to please anybody, because that's not true love. Right?
Yeah.
I think we help each other find ourselves,
Yeah, for
our
sure.
true selves.
Yeah, 1 + 1 should equal 11, not 2. So I think that's huge, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So many people are struggling, and we've both struggled really hard in relationships. And we still have ups and downs too. We're human.
Of course.
We're human.
But we're working on
We're
it
working
constantly.
all the time. 360 degrees of success. And the thing is this, it's not about, oh, I have this or we've arrived. It's not even like that at all. It's what it is a constant strive in the journey and acknowledging that true love exists. And really my intention, and I hope this works out, but really is to bring you, different shows on topics such as, how to deal with various
Dr.
challenges.
World.
Yeah.
Joking.
How to deal with me, how to deal with challenges,
Right, easy to deal
right?
with you.
I'm working a lot. I'm in and out of the house a
No,
lot,
you're
and
amazing.
there's a lot of amazing aspects of relationships and marriage, partnerships, and I think that it's really cool to have an insight into the glimpse, the real side of it, So thank you for sharing, my love.
Thank you. I
Thank you.
love you.
Mwah. Thank you for watching True Love.